All right, so we're in Omaha in some cornfields. Why are we here, Briar? Why Omaha?
The simple answer is because I just settled down with family here, and family matters more than business to me. And so, if I got to make a couple less dollars in my lifetime, but I get to love my wife by keeping her next to family, get to raise kids next to cousins, and be within 2 hours of my family, like that's an easy trade-off for me than being in Miami and just like being in the clubs and stuff like that. It's an easy trade-off. The simple life too. They say Omaha's the good life, baby. That's the slogan. It's simple, man. You go to Whole Foods, come home, you eat your dinner.
We got Whole Foods in Miami.
Yeah, but it's just different. It's different.
You don't strike me as a simple life guy though, because what you've built is completely different. So what are you working on right now?
Yeah, we're going on Oakline Content Agency. It's basically a creative director agency. The point is we come in as basically a fractional head of content into your business. We run your short form and your long form from front to back. All you do is show up to the camera and record. Not many people are filling this gap specifically on a personal brand side.
So what's your thesis around content? Like, why this? What do you think is so important about it?
Yeah, I mean, I think a personal brand is one of the best assets you can have in 2026, right? Like, I have a mentor who has $100 million real estate portfolio, and he has 500,000 Instagram followers. I asked him if you could only have one, you had to restart, he would say 500,000 Instagram followers, right? And so for these business owners, personal brand is what's going to separate them. A lot of people think a personal brand is the moat, or excuse me, it's key man risk. What we're noticing is it's actually the opposite. We're seeing more and more companies. An exit just happened this year where they got a higher multiple because it was built on the back of a creator, because people think personal brands are going to be harder to build as time goes.
Yeah.
So they're becoming more and more valuable. And there's just kind of a gap in the market where no one really knows what the hell they're doing here. So it's like, why not come in and just like take some genuine marketing prowess to the personal brand world? So
who are some of the clients you've worked with and some numbers that you've been able to achieve?
yeah, I might have to get a little.
Well, you can kind of hide the names.
Yeah, I'll say them. Biggest client is Chris Williamson, 7th biggest podcast in the world. We came in and they were doing 42 million views a month. And
it's not bad.
No, it's amazing. And they're doing 100. We had 99.8 million views probably 2 months after coming in. It's been up and to the right every single time. And that's like so cool because you're really like impacting culture with him. We have 2 clients doing $1 million a month, smaller personal brands, but phenomenal businesses on the back end. And then my personal specialty, I came from an agency where I got to work with Jocko Willink, Gary Brecka, Chris Bumstead, a few other people, not Oakline related, but people I've worked with.
We were just talking about Jocko and extreme ownership in that book. Do you have any like book favorites you've been reading?
Yeah, dude. My top 5 favorite books, probably close to an order, is number 1, Mastery, if you don't know what you're supposed to do with your life. Number 2 is Cashvertising. Cashvertising, to me, if you want to be a creator, Cashvertising is the best book to speed up your marketing prowess, your hooks, your scripting, whatever. Number 3 is Unreasonable Hospitality. In a world where everyone's cutting corners in their products and services and their apps and their agency product, Unreasonable Hospitality talks about how do you over-deliver and really stand out by doing a great job rather than cutting corners, being bad at communicating, stuff like that. Number 4, the Bible. This is obviously number 1, but I'll weave it in here. Specifically, like for me, what's been resonating is the beginning of Job and the end of Job. It's this guy who literally is the richest man in the world and gets everything taken away from him and is still honoring the Lord. And I just ask myself that all the time, like if everything got stripped away, would I still honor the Lord? And then the last book that we were just talking about is Steve Jobs in Exile. Mm-hmm. It talks about the 12 years where he gets kicked out of Apple. 12 years. Imagine taking a 12-year detour and still being one of the most successful business owners in the world. And it's just like, dude, we just got to stay on the course long enough and let compounding take effect. And you can still take a 12-year detour and build a multi-billion-dollar company.
Those are some good recs, bro. There's a couple things you could say about Steve Jobs with his exile that he did improve and he did reflect a little bit, Hate to say it, Mark Andreessen's been talking about like retard maxing a lot lately. Yeah. And I think what he meant is ruminating and being sad about things, but I think most successful people I know, they do think and reflect in a positive way. Like, do you feel like he's wrong about that?
He says like he never looks backwards.
Yeah, it's crazy. How can you How's that possible?
Yeah, I think he's like trying to say like he's just always moving forward.
Which is good. Everyone
Yeah.
does that though.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, dude, I'm not that successful, so
Right.
I
So
don't
it's
know.
hard. We
He
can't
might be
even
right. Dude, he might be
just
right.
never think about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm an extremely introspective person. Like, I have like a high level of like self-shame and self-hatred, and like those are some like demons that I got to process so I don't make decisions
Yeah.
out of insecurity.
I've been reading a book lately called Humility, and I forget the author's
Yeah,
name.
dude, you posted it. It's
Dude.
by
Yeah, it's
Andrew Murray.
Andrew Murray.
I read it before. I read it like probably 4 or 5 years ago.
100 pages.
Yeah.
One of the most impactful books for me because
Wait, can I try to? This is the quote where it says, "Humility is not thinking of yourself less, or not thinking less of yourself. It's thinking of yourself less."
yeah, and it kind of goes into Job as well because Job started feeling severe pain because he kept thinking of himself a lot instead of kind of just being grateful to even be alive. You know what I mean? Like you could be in the car with someone that you love, but like they say something or they're bothering you, and that is a much preferable outcome to them, getting hit by a car or something and not being around. And it's like just thinking of yourself less and how fortunate you are, I think. And then also with Job, so funny that he's like, why is God doing this to me? And like kind of, so he was kind of getting close to like
Doubt.
a little bit of doubt, which of course. And then God just goes on like a 3-page rant and is like, did you make the plan?
Yeah, where were you?
Like you do not understand how this all works together.
Exactly.
And I think that's really important for entrepreneurs because Steve Jobs even was probably not as successful. His first stint at Apple, I mean, obviously successful, but the second stint was way better, and it could have been because of that overarching plan. And if I look at a company like Apple, I think it's a huge net positive on the world, on all of us. And maybe Steve needed that new level of development to become an actual better CEO. I think Peter Thiel says that Steve succeeded despite like the angry, angsty kind of stuff he had when he was younger, when he wasn't like the best leader ever, because he was such a visionary and could tie people together. But then he became a little more well-rounded later on. So bad things are going to happen, but they should be for your benefit.
I'm curious to your point. Like Steve has this balance of like we talk about cleaners, someone who's like going to push the envelope, be an A player, absolutely ruthless, killer. At what point? Because some people would argue that like Steve is like that level of success is rooted in an identity issue, and maybe that the healthy people in the world don't build companies like that.
And I think there's something to be said about that, to be honest with you.
Elon's another great example.
But I am Christian. The viewpoint I have is you can operate from that insecurity, painful place, or you can operate from like an overflowing of love and what you should be doing to benefit the world.
And do you think operating from an overflow of love, you can
possible.
get to the same level of success?
I think so. I think there's probably a lot of people that have successful businesses that come from that place as well.
But that successful?
I'd have to look into, more stories and stuff. But I would assume, there's probably all types of different personality types that make it work just based on like who they are, you know?
I agree.
So I think it's totally possible.
There's it's one of the David Sinner podcasts. I think it's Daniel Ek, the Spotify founder, and he says there's no right way to do it.
Yeah.
There's
It's
no right way
funny.
to be a founder.
Did you see the playlist, the show about Spotify?
Like it's their history.
Mm-hmm.
I have seen it and heard about it. I've never listened to it.
It's good. Daniel Ek was kind of like that angsty, fiery entrepreneur because the podcast episode with Senra, he seems so chill and laid back. Just some bald guys from Sweden,
Yeah.
But like apparently he was also super fiery, and I think it's kind of like they say the best people kind of have both.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
You know what's crazy? This is a complete side note. You know who Sean Parker is?
Yeah.
Founder of Napster. He was at the beginning stages of Spotify and he's on that podcast.
No way.
Yeah. Like if you go back to like season 1 or like the early days, like Sean Parker's like randomly like.
I think anything with music back then, he was like the guy.
Just in it. Yeah. Like LimeWire, like all of it, just everything. Yeah.
It's like you with personal branding right now.
Maybe. Not quite.
Okay. So how did you get in touch with Chris Williamson and his team?
So one of my close friends, Sky Tan, Sky, you're the man. He's a competitor too, short form content agency. Had one of the most insane months of all time for his personal brand. Went from maybe 14,000 to 114,000 in like 45 days.
Not
so
bad.
added like 100,000 followers. Chris reaches out to him, was like, yo, I need a creative director. Sky's like, I am literally getting 40 leads a day. Like, Briar, I need help. I hop in. We basically try to get him a creative director, but everyone's kind of twiddling their thumbs. Nothing's happening. I connect him with a guy named Grant Owen, who Grant, love you, Grant, absolute stud, probably like my closest friend in the space. And Grant applies, shuts down his agency, was a competitor, was about to work for Chris, or was in a deep interview process. Ends up working for Jefferson Fisher, who Jefferson Fisher right now is averaging close to 200 million views a month per platform or across platforms. So Grant is killing it. And when he accepted that job with Jefferson, Chris and Grant got really tight. And then Chris was kind of like, yo, Sky and Briar are like dropping the ball. Like, these guys are so slow at helping me. Briar introduced me to Grant. Grant, you seem like an A player. Grant, how about you help me find the right person? Grant comes in and is given 45 days to find this creative director. Found it, a guy named Kyle, and Kyle came from Mr. Beast, absolute stud. Long story short, Kyle was too qualified to be a creative director, so instead of going for a creative director, we split it. Basically like a chief of staff and then an agency. So he didn't want to do agency because he wanted the creative director, but whenever you go head of content to kind of be a bridge, you're willing to maybe or
something's going to be, there's a lot of things that have to be done.
Yeah, because the chief of staff is managing so much.
Right.
So then it makes a little bit of sense. Okay, well, maybe we do actually work with the agency. So that's where I worked back in. We were in a competition for another agency for the first 2 months. We won that competition. And
no name drop for them, huh? I'm just kidding.
No. I think I don't know. I love that person a ton.
Yeah.
I think like we have like, I don't know if our relationship will ever be the same. I hope it does. Like, he's like an absolute savage.
Yeah.
And we were actually tight. And I mean, it's not.
It just happens, bro.
One of my team members was, some people would say, was poached from his team.
Ooh.
Which was not the case. Not the case. That happened the exact same week as the competition ending. And so I don't know if we'll be able to recover that relationship. But if you see this dude, like, I want to still chill.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, life is too short, bro. Like, really, like, to hold any grudges.
But then it's kind of like Steve Jobs and Bill Gates were rivals. Like, they weren't just like having dinner together.
Yeah, but Bill Gates sucked.
That's true.
Like,
yeah.
I mean, there's terrible stories. I'm sure Steve Jobs probably had some as well, but I've heard some of those Bill Gates stories. I'm like, yeah, this guy is an asshole.
Yeah.
Like doing unnecessary things. So, but ironically, I'm pretty sure Apple survived because of him too. Like,
yeah, there's that moment where like there was like 2 years there where they sold their operating system to Windows, just that little bridge.
Yeah.
That was his first year back to Apple.
It's so funny how it works. So I'm curious about the podcast strategy for guys like Chris. There's so many people that want to do podcasts. Like, me being a non-personal brand person, like, really, I assumed it was a lot of clipping and listicles and like article kind of info stuff from, like, anything that wins you reformat. Like, how do you guys look at podcast strategy for guys like that?
Yeah, this is kind of like a little bit of proprietary information. I can tell you offline. I really do think it's a little bit of like our secret sauce, and it was given to me.
Okay.
And so it's kind of up to me to like shepherd this strategy that was given to me from Grant. And so the short answer is you have a volume play and then you have a brand play, and you find the combo between them.
That works. Interesting. I think I can put some of that together.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of similar for what we do with UGC agencies. Like, if we're going to grow an app, you need volume. You need a ton of creative volume. And then, you kind of have to work in a little bit of the brand as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so intriguing. I've never been to Omaha before. Running a content agency here seems like, I thought it would be hard mode, but the fact that there's not a lot of distractions, you guys are so locked in. What does it feel like to build in person with guys that are A players?
It's still hard mode because, like, in order to get the A players here,
tough.
You got to cast a really good vision. I pay close to
double,
triple,
double,
probably 150 to start, double in the first 3 months, and an opportunity to make triple compared to my competitors whenever they grow into the platform.
It's brutal.
It's actually, I'm running 4x. There's a chance for my CDs
4X.
to make 400% than my competitors. But it's like, if I'm a financially sound operator, why would I not want my team to make more money?
They have to, I mean,
Yeah.
it's the only way everyone wins.
And so like the game is, instead of buying APs and Porsche 911s, I'm just gonna give
Coming.
that money to my team.
Yeah. Well,
Right.
it's coming.
It will. I mean, the G's basically.
What kind of car do you want?
I mean, I got it already, baby.
Oh yeah, that's
I mean,
so tough.
that G cab is like,
Yeah.
that's my dream car. It'll probably be the only. I'm not a car guy. Like that's gonna be I hope that I give that to Lyndon one day, my son, and that's the family car. I might get a daily driver like a Tesla just for longer commutes, but that's it.
Your story. You're a wrestler. How did you go from college athlete to into this?
Yeah. So I wrestled at Iowa State, which is like a top 5 school. It'd be like playing, football at like Alabama or something like that. Maybe not quite Alabama, but
No, I've heard it's like one of the top
yeah,
schools.
we're consistently in the top 5, and I was the worst player on the team, the worst wrestler on the team, bottom 4, bottom 5, and it was kind of like an eye opener on what hard work actually looks like.
Yeah.
Like from a small town, I got away with a lot of like
Bad habits. Yeah.
And my roommates were, cleaner to the core, dialed. I was like, it was the most eye-opening experience of my life being around my 2 roommates, Ian and Kanan, and those guys went on to have mid-college careers. And I
Isn't
was
it
like,
crazy, bro?
it was insane.
So what makes someone? Is it just genetics or training or life experience? Like, if you were a cleaner, you have the best habits possible, probably good genetics. Why are those guys mid athletes? I mean, obviously they're great, but in comparison to the absolute best, like what separates them?
Yeah, I think inner game of tennis is a big one, right? Like, I don't know, have you read that book before?
No.
It's this concept that like you can't let your mind get in your own way. So it's like, if 2 people, exact same genetics, exact same training, exact same skill set, go against each other, the one who's competing with more freedom and less insecurity is gonna
win.
smoke.
Yeah.
Like not even just by a little bit.
Now, do you think that's like the personality trait of openness, where you're open to new experiences, or are you still like very rigid on what you want to do?
No, it's an extreme lack of fear of failure. Like I could lose the Olympic gold. I've been training my whole life for this, and somehow I still hold it with I'm not afraid of failing here. Because
Versus other people, they get to it and they want it so bad they tense up. What's that called in sports when you tense up? Because it happens in golf. Like people tense up and they lose.
Yeah, it's called the yips in baseball. I don't know if it's the same.
Yips in golf too.
Is it?
But the mental just it all goes away.
Yeah. My dad got second at state, and he said his biggest regrets whenever he got to the state championship, he was wrestling not to lose. Defensive. I'm not going to go score points. I'm just going to hope I don't make a mistake.
Yeah.
So whenever I got to the state finals, he said, you are here to wrestle to win, not to not lose.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, whatever. I'm just going to go out and try to score 100 points on this guy. And
you scored 100?
14, which was like the second highest in the whole tournament. So
that's brutal for the championship to go like that for that guy.
Well, dude,
you feel bad?
The bad news, bro, is I scored 14 in like the first period, which is
brutal,
insane. And then I got gassed and I almost lost the match.
Oh, wow.
So I won 11-14, but there was one point where I was winning like
14-1,
12-2 or something like that. Yeah, it was. So something, I don't know what it was, but yeah.
No, it's so interesting. So I think it comes down to a little bit more of your nature and your environment. For instance, your dad having that experience and being able to instill that in you, huge advantage, right?
Oh, massive.
Huge advantage. And so I also think I grew up in Southern California, like middle class, public school, like normal kid. But my dad's friends had businesses that were, successful or they sold.
So you got to
go to their homes. My mentor, I just went to his memorial like 2 weeks ago. He had 2 crazy homes in Newport Beach on the peninsula. And when I was young, my parents divorced. I would go stay there like Wednesday nights and every other weekend with my dad. And I got to, wake up in the morning, go out in the ocean and just be like, wow, people live like this. This is crazy. So it kind of gives you, if I didn't have that, I don't know if I would want that as much for, I wouldn't even know that it's as possible. So the drive is more there 100%. Because you get, then it's just like a short thing. And then you got to go back to, okay, like, no, I can't buy basketball socks today. You know what I mean? So it's super interesting, but I think it's a little bit more of the nurture kind of.
Yeah, it can be for sure. Yeah.
How did you meet your wife?
Yeah. So I worked for a church for 3 years as like an assistant college pastor, and she was in the congregation. So through that.
So you just went up to her?
Yeah, I invited her to a dinner after a service one time, like
Nice.
an evening service. She said yes. Then we went on a dog date. It was like my like coded way of like saying like, hey, like I'm new to town. My dog needs a friend. Completely normal thing. My dog cannot have a friend.
It's crazy how good you are at sales, and that was the line you went with.
So
yeah.
that's that's how we met. She was technically a student, so she was a senior, and it was my first year, so we're 1 year apart. But I like wasn't allowed to date a student, so we had to like go through like weird like church politics of being like getting approval to date. I was
Wow.
like, this is so weird. But
I've never heard of that.
yeah,
So interesting.
it was just because of like the staff.
Yeah.
There's like it'd be like a boss trying to like with a inferior, like a superior relationship. So just making sure that I'm not
awkward,
like a predator,
right?
preying on the congregation.
Could be problematic in churches.
Maybe I am.
Predator and other things. Okay. You were going to be a pastor, right? That was your first thing. Do you feel like that translated well?
Not a ton. Yeah, a little bit. Yes, actually. I had already preached close to 40 sermons. I used to preach at a nursing home to like 20 dying people every week.
Wow.
For like a year. And so whenever people was like, oh, you're so good at yapping, I had given 40 to 50 long form talks, which if you chop that up into 90-second clips, like it's like hundreds
of clips,
300 short form pieces of content. And so I was already finding my voice whenever I was starting to preach. Like I wasn't nervous in front of crowds or cameras or whatever. That definitely helps. And then I also got a feedback loop of communication. I was able to see like, oh, people like it whenever I tell stories like this. People like it whenever I use listicles like this. People like it whenever there's one-liners like this. Didn't have any rational thought. This just kind of moved into my subconscious that like hindsight, a year after making content, I'm able to reflect on a little bit, but I wasn't like super strategical in like what it was.
Yeah. No, I think the reps obviously helped for sure, because when I saw your content, I think you had like 1,000 or 2,000 followers.
Yeah, dude, we were talking about this. You were one of the first people ever to DM me.
Yeah.
Like literally.
I saw your content. I was like, oh man, this guy's going to be a killer, bro. So I had to say something.
You might have been the first like blue check or like any normal person over like 300 followers ever DM me. I have to go back and look, but yeah, pretty sure.
Well, it's just, pretty obvious to see, and I think you can see that, and it's just a matter of time for like reality to kind of catch up to it. You know what I mean? Kind of like reality transurfing. You ever read that?
I've saw someone else post it recently.
Yeah.
I haven't read it.
It's a good one. It's a good one. Definitely. There's like 2 versions. Read the short version. It gets all the same points across. The long one's like egregious. All right. If I wanted to, I'm just going to ask like very simple questions that I hear. I want to go viral today. What do I do?
Yeah, well, first you need a high TAM topic.
Okay.
TAM stands for total addressable market. That means like it has to be able to appeal to billions of people. For example, how to get rich in 2026? High TAM. How to work out an injured elbow via Pilates? Low TAM. You have to have an injured elbow. You have to be interested in Pilates. It's like maybe a couple tens of thousands of people have injured elbows and care about Pilates. So like you have to have high TAM. Number 2 is you have to have an extreme level of curiosity baked into it. Like you have to open up a loop so strong that people are inevitably going to watch 30 seconds into the video. And the third thing is there has to be some form of emotional resonance that's going to strike a conversation in the comments or in a group chat that they're going to send it to.
Okay, so what is this? What's a loop?
An open loop would be like this. You're waiting for me to say what an open loop is. I still haven't even told you what it is.
But you're waiting.
But you're still waiting for
it.
Right? An open loop is whenever you leave out a piece of information and you move it later into the conversation.
So we would call this payoff.
Like exactly. Open loop and payoff would be the back end, but it's the exact same thing.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah,
it's so good. And it's annoying because I'll watch a video and I know that's happening, but I'm like, I gotta watch. Yeah.
And what's crazy is like because we're content marketers, we see it. 99.9% of people don't know what's happening to them, right? Like we see it and it makes sense. Most people just drift right through. They're on autopilot. We call it gator mode. There's the gator mode and the judge mode, and whenever you're watching a video, you want to keep people in gator mode the whole time. Just
what's gator mode?
I am gator. I eat everything. Like zero thought. Like I'm just gonna just consume zombie mode. I'm just gonna consume mindlessly. But the instant you say something that's a little clickbaity, a little rage baity, a little not enough curiosity, their judge mode comes in, and they almost like wake up for a second and think to themselves like, oh, this is, I don't want to watch this
it's
anymore.
slop.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm moving on. You know, whatever it is.
Interesting.
And so the goal with any good copywriter, any good marketer, is to keep people in gator mode as long as possible, where they're just munch, 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 zero thought, zero thought, zero thought, zero thought. You don't ever want to activate the judge. So with open loops, you gotta be a little careful.
Are there words that you avoid, like for sure? You tell clients like, do not say this word in your video because it'll get too, it's like too rage baity or too.
Yeah, anything that's just like overdone. So like what I don't like is whenever people say like, here are 5 things, and the last one, you're gonna have to hang around for it. It's the best one yet. So it's like, if it just feels like a word or a phrase that people use a lot, like let's just avoid it and just use a different way to phrase it. But there's not like a specific word. It's just if it's too repetitive or too overdone, it's going to trigger the judge. I've heard this before. Oh, what? Are these people copying somebody? You know, so we just want to avoid that.
So what kind of formats do you think are working right now that are not overdone that people can exploit?
Yeah, well, I think a couple like evergreen formats are split screen Miro boards. So it's like you're at the top of the screen, some whiteboard or diagram graphic below you. I don't think that is like going to get overdone anytime soon. Green screens, I think those will never really die.
What's the best way to do green screen, by the way? Do you just like load up a bunch of pictures in CapCut and then just like go through them? Or?
Yeah, I think that's an easy way to do it. I think depending on how complex it is, I'm even fine with just a solo diagram that you just talk over. Just one picture the whole time, like that's the easiest one. If you wanted to immediately raise your views by 150%, just take your talking heads, your yaps, and just go a single diagram green screen. Go to ChatGPT and say, I want to make a diagram that explains this concept. It'll give you a diagram, you throw it in the back of your TikTok green screen, and you're just pointing at it in the background, discussing it. Bonus points, put your head, open a loop, put your head over part of the diagram so they can't see the full diagram. So there's curiosity on what the rest of the diagram is. Describe half of it, move your head to reveal the second half, and you have, maybe not an insanely viral video, but a
better video.
Significant.
Your hook rate will be better. Average watch time will be better.
Oh, dude, you could like easily go from 1,000 views to 10,000 views as a creator just by doing that simple tip and doing it well.
What do you feel is better between horizontal and vertical formats? Doesn't matter.
I don't have much preference there. I mean, it's just hard to get like horizontal. To me is a good switch up from a talking head or a yap. It's hard to get a lot of context on the screen horizontal. Right?
Very
especially
true.
on phone.
Yeah.
Right. So to me, it's just a good switch up. Like instead of just doing a talking head where you're in a fake podcast studio, like just do a sick car edit where it's horizontal instead. And you're already, could be the exact same conversation. You're just already going to be 10 times more unique than like a stupid podcast studio vertical.
One thing that's worked for me is having another person in my like shot. You know what I mean? Just having another person there is such a differentiator between everyone doing talking head stuff with an iPhone. Curious, like your thoughts in terms of like, I don't know, like do you do anything where you're like kind of faking prestige almost? Where you?
Yeah, sometimes. I mean, you kind of want to be careful with it, but like Brian Lubin, who's this creator that's crushing it right now, and he has a format that I've titled a wife hook. He's in the passenger seat. His wife starts with the phone. Well, and fiance starts with the phone, and she just says like, Brian, can you explain to the audience like how you retired at 31?
So
and then
good.
just turns it.
So good.
And like she obviously, you know, has the zipper down a little bit and playing the whole thing. You don't have to do that. You don't have to do that.
I'm pretty strongly against that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it's bad for the brand. I always thought to myself, they're engaged now, but they're doing it as boyfriend girlfriend. I always thought to myself like,
I used to do it with my ex-girlfriend, like not like that extreme, but just having her in the videos. I wish I didn't.
It's
even
too
if we were
dependent.
together.
Like, what happens if this?
Well, yeah, I just don't like the idea of like. I think it's just be your boys or people you work with, like you know, because then if you get a viral video, then you become kind of reliant on that, and then your relationship dynamic
Exactly.
Like that's problematic.
Unless you are so good at storytelling and controlling the narrative, and you control the power dynamic, that you can, if employee leaves, you can craft the narrative and take the audience on a journey of why they left.
Yeah.
You hold the narrative, and then it even creates more world building. But it's just not always a great idea.
Yeah, but do you think you should talk about? Interesting. Do you think you should really talk about like negatives? Like let's say an employee did leave. I mean, if you talk about it, it's very hard to come across in the right way, even if you genuinely have great intentions.
Yeah.
Because people are like, oh, why are you even talking about this? Like, it comes across more negative. Obviously good for views.
Yeah. I think it depends on where you're at in your business. If you are from 0 to 1, no, I don't think so. If you're already an established brand,
yeah.
and you're trying to go from like awareness to extreme loyalty,
Yeah.
then it makes sense.
Then
Tyler
you have
Dank.
to like really.
Yeah, do you know who Tyler Dank is?
No.
Founder of Beehive, which is like a newsletter. They did 50 million in ARR.
They're great.
Yeah, he's a savage. He has literally shared whenever like investors like pull out of funding,
Everything.
like their CTO passed away, bro, and he wrote through the whole thing. Co-founder CTO passed away 5 years into the company, documented literally every emotion he was feeling, and
this is all through email or for him
and Twitter, yeah.
Okay, Twitter too.
Twitter and email. I think the email came later. He started off on Twitter and documented the whole thing on Twitter, and then moved over to his own email.
Would you post short form content about that? Like,
yeah,
if your CTO died?
If you are in loyalty building, this is so important. Like, you should not do this unless you have like 50,000 followers.
And Mike, like, could I do it?
What?
Could I do it? Like
Yeah, I think so. Like, if you do it too early, people have to care about you as an individual. And so if people do not care about you as an individual yet, then your whole job should be giving them so much insane value that they start to care about you as an individual. If you are in the come up where people aren't like DMing you like, dude, like, holy cow, like you've changed my life, or like you have the aura and like the followers and the engagement's really high, then like you should not be focused on brand building. You should be focused on like your first initial growth phase. You know what I mean? Like, the most important thing is product market fit. If you don't have product market fit, literally, like if we parallel this to business, if you don't have product market fit, there is zero reason for you to go hire a sales team. There is zero reason.
Because people will churn, it's waste money, yeah.
Exactly. There's zero reason for you to go hire whatever the next branch of the business is. If you don't have content market fit, there's no reason for you to go do some type of world building activity.
Does content market fit, I mean, we were talking about this. I know someone with 4K followers, averages maybe like 2-3K views a reel, extremely bought in audience. Like what would you define content market fit as?
Yeah, I would say it varies, but it's true. Just like, do you feel good about the level of attachment you have to your audience? And the reality is probably 80% of the people listening to this are going to overestimate the level of attachment they have to their audience.
I think I have like close to none. Like I think people know me like in the space, but how would I build more of a, attached audience? Or is that even desirable, or should I focus more on like product and outcome? And you know what I mean?
No, I think you want an attached audience.
Yeah.
Like, that's going to be a win no matter what. It's adding value. If you think about it, like, what's your favorite documentary you've ever read or ever watched?
Probably some 30 for 30.
It literally doesn't matter because it was a
hypothetical.
Well, it was a whatever it's called, whatever type of
question.
Yeah, it's because like documentaries are only made on people who have added an extreme amount of value to the world,
right?
Or an event with so much extreme drama that there's a story around it. Like, if you haven't done enough for like someone to want to quote unquote watch your documentary, then you need to go back and build the Michael Jordan career so that the Last Dance can happen.
Okay.
Go build the Justin Bieber
question
career.
for you, like, let's say it is the Last Dance. If there was no media or no marketing around it and we just didn't know about it, like, would that still be worth him pursuing? Or could we just build world building and stories and content and social media and clipping and all this stuff? For instance, if you looked at total views for someone like Tate, he could easily do any documentary he wanted because he has so many views and clippers and all of that. You know what I mean? Like, is it really the thing that you do, or is it the fact that you distribute what you do?
I think for 98% of people, it's the thing that you do. Some people who have an absurd amount of money can pay for the distribution and distribute their way through a lack of story and a lack of value. The claviculars, the TJRs,
But I mean, people in clavicular space love him so much, not even from the money, but because he's willing to go get surgeries and he's in the arena, so to speak, doing live streams all day.
But the only reason you know about him is
so he's insane.
Because he's insane, which is value in itself.
Yeah.
Right. To me, that's the same
value
thing.
in the form of entertainment.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I'm cool with that. Like, that's the same.
But I think that's like not a great bar to shoot for most people because you're a jester.
Well, it depends. It depends. You can gesture your way to Logan Paul.
For sure. But I would say Logan Paul probably did it less from gesturing and more from, like, I don't see him now. Maybe he started that way, but I think now he's entrepreneur, with a podcast. You disagree?
Yeah. I mean, I think he's making a lot of money as a jester, though. Like, it's harder that way. To me, it's just a
I think
different game.
the Japan thing in the
Yeah.
forest like changed him, and I think he went from that to like him. Like Paul runs,
Yeah.
their firm, their
For
VC,
sure. But he was still like one of the biggest YouTubers
for sure.
before it. But yeah, I agree with you.
I just think it's different. Like Clivic stuff does seem like gesture maxing versus like if I watch Impulsive,
Yeah.
I feel like it's not that.
I agree 100%.
I don't know if it's world building or maybe just because we know the negatives and like stuff he had to go through to get there. That was something that people talked about with entrepreneurs is they see someone with billions of dollars and they're like, they have too much money, they should give it away. But Michael Jordan has $1 billion and they're like, he deserves it.
Yeah.
You know?
I think like what I'm trying to say is like the crazy storytelling and talking about the negatives and documenting your journey and like getting other people involved in your content is not what you should do if you are the beginning of your creator journey. The reason we care about Impulsive and the characters and everything is because of everything that's happened up to that point.
Yeah.
Right? But he's also a little bit different because he's an entertainment creator. Same with Clavicular. Like, he has done so much crazy things on his own that now he's going on this college tour or whatever and has WAP spending. He said he has unlimited clipping spend.
Yeah.
Because WAP pays for it. Kick pays for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so it's like, he didn't just start with that. Maybe he did. I don't know.
But is there a downside to doing too much world building or negative content where you're talking about the downsides too much? Like, oh man, this happened to me, or this, where you come across as too negative almost, or no?
Am I an entrepreneur or am I a creator, like an influencer?
That's a good question. I guess it would depend. I depend on the person. I would think for entrepreneurs, probably not as much, but influencers probably shouldn't talk about negative stuff because people are not going to feel bad for them. Like if Alex Earl's like, oh, my life is so hard, people are like, you know.
Dude, I don't know. Some people like become so psycho fandom they want to attach to the story. I think the hard part with entrepreneurs, you have to protect your investors.
And so you can't talk about the negatives as
sometimes.
Much. Yeah.
Right. And you can't talk about a product malfunction and how.
So it's a huge advantage if you're a bootstrapped entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Because you can
get. You don't have anybody to attest to.
Yeah.
I mean, Minted New York. I don't know if you remember this.
Oh,
Bro, there was during COVID, he talked about the story of a shipment getting stuck in the Panama Canal or whatever.
Yeah.
Because big tech was like bought out
little
the canal.
enemy marketing kind of.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And that brought in a ton of fandom. But what he's not sharing is like as much as whenever he F's up, right? Like that's kind of like this external circumstance. But what about all the times whenever he accidentally sent out an email that had a discount code or shipped a product that had a poor stitching? Maybe he still does. I think that would actually be kind of cool. But you got to be careful how much you go down that road because then you become an unreliable product provider, service provider. Same thing with info, right? If I'm a service provider,
you can't say that you provided best.
Dude, if I talked about all of the negative experiences that my clients perceive from my agency, it's like, why would anybody want to work with me, right? Now there's a balance here. You want to be vulnerable, but you also don't want to just air out your dirty laundry so you lose your credibility. So it's a balance for sure.
These are good ass answers. I think the Marcus one makes the most sense because he really, I mean, I'm sure he has negative stories, but I never hear of him personally in
the
a
win is
negative
external.
Light. Yeah.
If you can do enemy marketing external, like we're the hero.
Yeah.
Here's the mountain we have to climb.
Yeah.
Bro, that's like.
And that's what I want to do right now with Meta because we just got information back. We have another 20 days to review. I'm trying to find Meta reps that I can pay to like get us through the process.
Yes.
And I can't, but I don't want to be like, man, Meta sucks, and then they like they cut us off,
Exactly, but you can be careful with how you
phrase it.
Who's the enemy? Always make it circumstantial if you want to play that game. And dude, this is a phenomenal way to develop strong
people,
strong
culture.
fandom.
Yeah,
like we're supposed to get this office space, and we go in yesterday, and long story short, there's like rumors that it's like flooded.
No way.
And we're not sure if they lied to us or said it's not, but we haven't signed the lease yet. So I have him record my call with the attorney, and we're just gonna turn this into a story. And if it ends out good, we'll protect the landlord because I still want to have a good relationship with them. If it ends out bad, then like I'm gonna burn them to the ground. But they're also not gonna see this stuff probably, so it doesn't really matter. So
you'd be surprised, bro.
I know.
Like you're not a no one.
Dude, maybe Boys Town might just DM you, say welcome to Omaha, come check out the museum.
It's because I posted a trial reel from my TikTok and I said, I'm in Omaha. What's there to do in Omaha?
No
Posted as
way.
a trial. They saw it because they never seen my content before and it goes locally. And then they DM'd me and said, come check out Boys Town. We show up to Boys Town to shoot this. And I look at my DMs and there's a DM from them.
We hadn't even checked. We were already in the Boys Town parking lot. Gonna hopefully shoot here.
Yeah.
And he checked his DMs and there was a DM from Boys Town. That's crazy. That's so cool. I want to ask you this. It feels, I've never built a product before. I'm curious. It feels like, I'll just say, I feel like I'm trying to hold back. It feels like you're pivoting a lot with artec.
Yeah.
But then it's also true that you need to pivot a lot to find the right
I think
spot.
the
Where do you
action
think
comes through from doing, right? I think that's true of everything in life. If a kid asks you like, what should I do with my life? It's like, you just have to go
Take
try
action.
things for 20 years.
Yeah.
The goal with artec when we started, CJ and I, was we care about creators more than anyone.
Yep.
We train creators better than anyone. Let's make a product that serves the creators that they will have access to, and deals and tools and everything they need that's actually affordable. So that's like really what it's built on. And then there's management tools for the brands so that they're there to actually hire creators and stuff. But to be honest with you, I don't want to do B2B SaaS and go live in SF and raise billions of dollars. I don't really care. I'd rather creators, my story, so I was in college, I graduated, there was no jobs for me. I had a sales job. I did that for a year. It was absolutely brutal, despised it. But I got that 4K month deal from Whoop, and it was like the light at the end of the tunnel. Like, okay, I can do content for a career. And that's what I want creators to feel, because I genuinely cried when I got that first.
I was gonna ask, that'd be crazy.
I was so happy. And then I got one more deal, and then Creator Rewards program came out, and I was doing like 15K a month, and I was like, I'm leaving my job.
I'm a full-time creator now.
Yeah, I'm a full-time creator, and I had like 15K followers or something.
Yeah.
Right? And so it's even easier now. It's more widely available now because there are more management tools and all those things. Brands are aware of organic social and how powerful it is. In 2022, 2023, not as much. So yeah, the goal has always been, let's build something for the creators. And we've had to go, in order to make a really, really good creator product, creators need to make money, which means brands have to be part of it, which means tooling has to exist. And if I'm talking in an email sequence, or if I'm talking in a specific reel or whichever channel I'm on, X in YouTube versus short form, there's going to be different messaging for different people. And so I'm just trying to balance all of that. But the reality is, what I actually want in my heart is the best creator platform, so the creators can have the tools and the access to deals needed to make a ton of money.
So whenever you say creator, to me, there's categories of creators.
Yeah.
There are influencers.
Yeah.
This is Emma Chamberlain, Logan Paul, Clavicular.
We don't serve them.
There's course creators, info gurus, whatever.
Yeah.
There's founder creators, leader of a personal brand with like a more sound, I hate to say sound, business on the back end. And then there are UGC, TikTok shop. How far does this expand? Does it stay in that corner, UGC, TikTok shop?
In terms of TAM, right now, UGC and TikTok shop, I think, are the most, highest population of creators.
And it's the fastest way to leave your 9 to 5.
Right. It's very likely to make 5 to 10K per month.
Yeah.
And I don't feel comfortable saying that for anything else. Being an influencer, difficult.
Dude.
Very difficult. Yeah. It's a special type of person, the way they think, a little bit of Mark Andreessen, like retard maxing, you know what I mean, to go that direction. To be a UGC creator, you usually sign up for a platform and a brand's like, hey, I'll pay you $500 to make videos like this. Can you do it? And they're like, yeah. And then you just do that for like 10 brands and you're there.
Yep.
So it's a lot more doable. And we've already been working with brands for 2 years, facilitating all this manually through WAP in our own WAP community. So a brand would have to contact me. I would have to personally do everything and hire the creators. And I was like, this is dumb. We should just build our own platform for it. And on top of that, we'll add the viral predictor tool. So you add in, your video and you get feedback right away for the things that matter, so that you can go more viral.
Yep.
And then we're gonna have editing tools and all of that. And then we have modules from top creators like yourself, Chase, CJ Weber, like a bunch of, Alexis Mante, Mackenzie Marsh, like all these creators that are really, really good at what they do, whether it's shop, UGC, personal branding. And there's videos there that you can go watch to learn all these different skills. And then if you do want to go make money, there is a deal section, and you can go, there's going to be creator strategists, creator managers, content strategy, UGC, TikTok shop, influencer posting, paid ads, like all these different jobs are available. And the goal is for if you're a creator, you're going to be on iOS app. Sure, we'll have a web app version for creators later. But as of right now, if I'm a creator, I go on Artec. I have my chats there, my messaging. Fun fact, what do you think people use Instagram the most for? Like, what is their most used
DMs.
feature? It's DMs. It's a messaging
It's like
app.
the number one thing that separates it from YouTube, TikTok, Facebook. The DM feature is phenomenal.
It's one of the best things ever. So we worked 2 months on just the messaging thing.
Yep.
To make that a very, very good feature. And
Love it.
again, you will have to pivot and change things, but at the end of the day, we're just listening to customers. So if they're like, hey, we want Artec to go more this route, I want more tooling, then okay, we'll go do more tooling. I don't think that's really what we do best. I think we do like creator connection building to get best. But that's really what we want to do. And we're willing to pivot. I mean, I personally don't need to make money for years. Like I do not care about having a lot of money right now. In the future, for sure. But I'm 27, so I feel like I got 3 years before the time even starts.
3 years of truly finding that like solid like lane,
right?
Cleaned up through customer feedback, solidify it, and now let's run this thing to the ground and perfect it.
Exactly.
That makes sense.
So, but the mission is still the same. So it might look like it's different, and I think part of that is just me as a CEO, like trying to find the messaging that is best that I can get people around.
Yep.
Because I have told people different messaging. Part of that's to see what sticks, what makes sense. If I'm talking to, I mean, even if I talk to investors, there's 2 types of investors. There's people in our space that know the jargon. There's people who are not in our space and don't know the jargon. And that pitch is extremely different in terms of how I bring that around, you know? Yep. So anytime you talk about the product, you just have to be aware really of who you're speaking to.
That makes sense.
I think you can tailor it a lot of different ways, but I wanted to ask you about hater content. Talk to me about it.
Yeah, I think there's a couple stages of haters, right? So stage 1 is you're not even making content that's good enough to receive haters. You are not posting content that is getting any like mass reach, so there's no hate to really come with it. The second stage is you start to solidify your message. You start to figure it out a little bit, but you're still like holding back punches, and but you're getting more reach now. This is like you're starting to get 10,000 views a video, and you have like a bunch of like maybe rookies disagreeing with you, but it's not necessarily like true hate. It's more so disagreement, and those people usually don't know what they're talking about. But the third stage, and this is where it really starts happening, is you realize that in order for me to get to the next level, I have to develop a counter position, which basically means like I have to find my stronger belief system in the market and hold to it more firmly in order to get to the next level, right? Ironically, niching down and having stronger opinions helps you grow faster in this space, specifically whenever it comes to beliefs and hate. Then you start getting like, you get the first like big blue check mark disagreeing with you, like that person who used to be kind of a role model, and you're like,
damn. Yeah.
And like that's a sign that you're in the right path. Like if you haven't gotten to that point, you really don't have like strong enough conviction in your content, in your belief systems, right? Because there's so much content out there, you have to take your corner and own it with conviction, right? Because everyone's looking for a tribe. You know, it's the reason politics are so polarizing, sports teams are so polarizing. People want a tribe, even in their intellectual property and what they agree in. So you got to take a stance. But then the fourth stance is the fourth stage of haters is whenever you have moved into the zeitgeist of your niche, and no matter what, extreme levels of hate will find you. Like at high level, I'm talking like hit pieces. Dude, we have a creator. She's the biggest content creator on LinkedIn. Number one. Nobody has more views than anybody else than her. And she has a 1.3 million viewed YouTube video, and it's her on the thumbnail, and it's just some guy roasting her for 25 minutes.
I got one of those.
Yeah, you've been there before.
Yeah, when I broke up with my ex-girlfriend in 2023, some guy made a video, and it was like the ex-boyfriend from hell. And it was face of me. It was like 1.5 million views. Guy paints his nails, right? So classic. But
and it's like that is, if you haven't made it there, you're just not in the zeitgeist. Like that's the whole point, is get to a place where you're so culturally relevant that like even the hater content creators, like the Cody Ko's of the world, are gonna make a hit piece on you. That's just inevitable. So we had this guy who's in the CrossFit space, and started blowing up. Had his first million viewed video. Basically takes like a dig at like some culture in Australia, gym culture in Australia or whatever. And then one of the biggest YouTubers makes a video about him, how he uses like AI for his videos. And it's like, who cares, dude? Who actually cares about an AI script from this dude who runs a gym? And it's like, that's a sign that you've made it. Whenever people are going out of their way to like make hit pieces about you. So,
okay, question for you, because I have examples of like that actually happens to me kind of often still for content from even like a year ago or 2-3 years ago around dating and relationships. People make hit pieces on me, people tag me in them and all that stuff. And for me, it's just not even a space I want to be in. I was just like, this is what I think is objectively true. I should say it with my chest. If you don't like it, you know, I honestly don't care. You know, I don't have like a negative connotation towards these views. I just think they're true. But then that's led me into that, which I don't necessarily want to be in. How do you pivot out of that into like a new space if you want to?
You just compartmentalize.
Compartmentalize, just
like,
keep going?
Yeah, like being canceled is a mindset. That's like one of my favorite quotes.
I totally agree.
And like what happens is 98% of people who are in the content space aren't going back and looking at your relationship videos.
For sure, no one knows. No one knows.
Exactly.
It's not real.
And so like that pocket of the internet might see you every now and then. That's not the same pocket of the internet that you live in.
Yeah.
It's like right now, someone in small town Iowa is probably like gossiping about me, talking shit about like me being a scumbag on the football team. You know, probably valid, but like I'm in Omaha now. I don't hear that, don't care about it. I don't go back very often. Like it's just a whole different world. Like you just move on to the next space and you just keep moving, right? Like that's like the name of the game is compartmentalizing, being canceled as a mindset.
So you're talking about counter positioning. What's the best way to counter position yourself to grow?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, counter position is the fastest way to like once you get formats figured out, once you get scripting and curiosity figured out, like we talked about, counter position what's going to separate you, and it's going to be what starts to get your name more memorable in your space. 10 creators all start at the same time in the same niche, and they learn formats at the same time. They learn curiosity at the same time. The first one to learn counter positioning is going to win against the other 9. What this basically means is look at the top 10% of the people in your niche and find out how you're different to them. I'm in the content space. Name one other person.
Not in Omaha.
Name one other person with cornfields in the background.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Name one other person with a vintage vehicle instead of a McLaren. Name one other person who is 28 with a 2.5-year-old, a 4-month-old, and has been married for almost 6 years, 5 years.
It's low-key goals, bro.
Yeah, I mean,
but I think that's actually what, ironically, it feels counter position, but I think it's what most people actually want. Like it's a better goal for people to shoot for.
Yeah, maybe. Even if that's not I agree. But even if that's not the case, I'm still different to them.
Oh, for sure.
Even if someone is fully blown Miami guru, like they want the club and the cars and the watches, they at least remember me. Because they're like, oh, that's that guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So a counter position, but it's also a skill set. Like it's not just what I'm looking at and the way I look and the aura around me. It's also what I talk about. Not many people talk about data, analyzing data and content. Not many people talk, this is our meta right here, not many people talk about counter positioning in content, which is one of my counter positions, right? Not many people bring a level of marketing prowess and psychology to content strategy. It's all like, here's how you go viral, here's the 5 hooks you need, here's whatever.
Yeah, slop.
You know? Yeah, exactly. They all sound the same. Right?
So how did you come up with your counter positions? Were they things you held as truth, or was it just like, this is what people think, I'm going this way?
A little bit of both, right? So I always say like analyze the current state of your niche, and then what are the things that you have conviction in that are opposite, right? And this is where like greatness happens. Like I think Peter Thiel says like, if you want to make a lot of money in this world,
talk about a contrarian.
Yeah, dude, yeah, crazy. He says you can derive value from unexpected places. Right? That's what a great counter position is. You're deriving value from a place that no one else has thought about, right? And so for you, let's say I'm in the fitness niche and I like, everyone talks about the same stuff.
Yeah.
Hybrid athletes, they're all
calories in, calories out.
Yeah, exactly. Get your 10,000 steps in, biomaxing, biohacking, whatever, biomaxing, I don't even know, dude. It's all the same stuff. They're all just like spin-offs of a Nick Bare and a Huberman.
Because those guys were very influential to them.
Yeah. And like if you want to be great, you have to find something that's different.
That you can be influential in.
Exactly. Something that's a complete, Like if I'm in the fitness niche, I'm thinking to myself, how do I be the complete opposite of Nick Bare, but still true to who I am? I'm not saying I'm gonna go like, oh, my counter position is I drink 6 Busch Lights in the morning and I still look shredded. Like,
But people do that, and it does work because
it
it
does
is
work.
different.
Exactly, because it's different, but it also needs to be something that's like gonna
Net
keep
positive.
authority, net positive.
Yeah.
You still want to be an authority, right?
When you look at my content, I actually don't. Initially, I was like, I'm gonna be a fitness creator. I kind of got brand deals and did that for a bit, and then I was like, you know what? Too slow on growth. I want more views. Got to like 50, 60 million views a month doing dating and relationships. Good, but then I was like, the audience that I'm attracting here is not the audience that I really want, and it's not true to me either. Now I kind of just do literally whatever and post it, and I feel actually good about that.
Yeah.
However, it's not really, it's not counterposition to anything. You know,
Yeah, you kind of become the niche.
You think?
A little bit, yeah.
What would you? I was gonna ask, like, what would you consider my niche, and you know, like maybe try to come up with some counterpositioning for like what I do, which is kind of founder
Well, I
UGC.
think, yeah, it's tough
on the
because you don't
spot.
have like super strong follower quality,
Yeah.
right? You kind of, if I remember
On
right,
TikTok,
from your page,
it's garbage.
yeah,
It's
you have like
not
a,
good.
and then how many followers do you have on Instagram?
Like 43.
And how many? What's your average views?
It's like probably 5K, 5 to 10K. It's
So
like
that,
super,
like,
yeah. But it's because, you know, I would talk about very niche things. Like this is how you grow your UGC account to 1K followers or something, which I would sell for our agency, which was really beneficial at the time. But then it's not like a, you know what I mean? It's not like a high, so I'd have to change it to go get more views.
Not necessarily. If you have 40,000 followers that have come from,
yeah. So they're
that,
bought, like in the space, I feel good. Like people
Yeah.
like know me and what we do. But in terms of like what I'm looking to do now with artec, I'm gonna have to go higher distribution. Like I'm gonna have to go bigger.
yeah,
I have some like a little animosity doing it because I know what that involves. I know it'll be different for like, you know, girls that I date and, you know, even for my family. Like I've had people reach out to my mom and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I know if you go bigger, there's more problems with it too. So it kind of makes me shrink a little bit because I don't necessarily want that.
yeah, I mean, yeah,
But I'm here to win, so it doesn't really matter. You know?
yeah.
But I'm curious what you would say.
I don't know if you have to. I mean, like if you just like became the side hustle king, that's like a big enough TAM. And no one's gonna be texting your mom being like, hey, I'm gonna kill this guy because he has takes on side hustles. Right.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And like you could build a multi 8-figure company just off a really strong side hustle brand. You know, like I don't think you have to think you have to go like culture,
Yeah.
worldview, stuff like that. Like you definitely don't have to do that. You don't even have to go general mindset even. There are subcategories underneath, in my opinion, where you can still build an insane business.
What would you think I should do? Like if you look at me, like if I look at you, I see like an Ogilvy type person.
Yeah,
right?
that's actually sick that you say that.
Yeah.
I literally want to be the modern day Ogilvy.
Yeah. And so I think that's you. What would, you know, do you have like anything I can, you know, you'd frame like that for me?
Yeah, I would say like I would climb. I wouldn't jump.
Yeah, just keep doing.
Well, I was gonna say like I wouldn't jump to like early day Tim Ferriss, but I think that's like who you could get to. Like the 4-hour work week concept, like this general business, and then the 4-hour body. Like take the 4 hours out of it. I'm more so talking about his like concept of side hustle, life management mixed with health and wellness. Like even you can even do it before 4-hour body came out, stay in the 4-hour work week era of Tim Ferriss. But like even that's like a high. There's probably someone, even like a Cody Sanchez, that could be like a layer below the Tim Ferriss realm. And then even underneath Cody Sanchez, there's probably a creator that's like an abridged version. But the whole point is you're trying to target people and convince them that they can leave their job by being a creator.
Yeah.
So the average demographic there is 16 to 32-year-olds. What are the average?
You'd be surprised even. You know,
Yeah,
like,
there's a lot of stay-at-home moms that like for the first time
they're huge. They love UGC.
Yeah.
But we even have older guys. Like we have 40s, 50s-year-old guys. You know, dads. You know, people that even, you know, are just like, what is this? Like, I want to learn about it. You know. But I think the Tim Ferriss one, I've heard that actually a couple times from people. Apparently, like I have a similar like worldview to him or something. I actually never read his books.
You should read 4-hour work week, I think. And you don't have to, like, his whole thing is like lifestyle maxing, getting your time back. It doesn't have to be that. But like the spin on like moving your life financially to what you can architect is like the first like ring of TAM that I would encourage you to rip. Like you don't have to go to like gender roles and like just try to chase
No,
my
I'm
revenue.
not going to do that ever again. Yeah. You know, like I realized really early if I wanted to make a hook, I could just put like girls in the title and just
Yeah.
talk about like anything dating and it would just rip.
Yeah. Like
And
you don't have to go to mindset. I don't think you have to go to dating, like
yeah.
even that high.
Yeah.
Like even like general business.
Yeah.
Like how to make your first, I think first $10,000 watered down. Like I think like just sticking in this like pocket of career pivots, financial freedom, best side hustles, this classic like how to make your 9 to 5, how to leave your 5 to 9 with your 9 to 5, or how to leave your 9 to 5 with your 5 to 9 or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Like that's the world that I would try to just swim in, and then I would try to find a counter position in that world.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I don't know what that is. Right? But
yeah, I mean, one of the things that I've done lately, I haven't had an apartment in like 9 months, you know, almost a year.
nomad would be sick counter position.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm basically a startup founder that is a nomad, and they're kind of very counter positioned against each other. Like all my friends are on companies that are competing in our space. They are in an office in New York. They're funded. You know, they have all of that. But I just thought, you know, what's best for my like life and health.
So whenever you're developing a counter position, this is what you always have to be thinking is there's going to be objections to the position. So now my thought is like, oh, there's no way I could ever do that. What do you say to that?
To be nomadic?
Yeah, there's no way I could ever actually leave my. Well, it's just like I'd have to get lucky. Like I'm too busy right now. Like that's like for.
So the first thing you need is like a high leverage thing. So because of our agency, I can sell like a few high ticket people and like have generally good life. Like, you know, not that numbers matter, but like over 20, 30K a month consistently while traveling without stress from UGC, the agency, all of that. We've had crazy months where it goes more than that, but it's given me enough to where I don't have to necessarily stress that much about it. I know exactly what my inputs have to be to get that every month. So
that right there, what you just said, I think is the unique part.
Yeah.
Because like everyone can say like, I'm a low stress entrepreneur, I have time freedom. There has to be something tangible that is unique. Mm-hmm. It can't be like high level, broad, like I like to travel language for your counter position.
Okay, so it'd be like, you know, I do 30K a month and like, you know, I don't want to do the money thing as much, like talk about it, but like I'm able to travel.
It doesn't have to be about you though. You could do like, here is how, one of your counter positions could be about expense management, because financial freedom comes from just making sure your income passes your expenses.
Yeah.
I've never heard anybody ever talk about financial freedom from an expense management standpoint.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, it's funny because I actually had like credit card debt when I was, you know, coming out of college and stuff. Yeah. And I had to fight through it, and fortunately I cleared it. But it was, you know, so I kind of have experience there because, you know, it was a struggle, which is kind of funny. Like I don't like necessarily talking about that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people deal with that. The reality is you just need to do something that, you know, you need to sell like high ticket.
Yeah.
It's kind of what it is, the life that we live in. Okay, that's interesting. So that could be counter positioning, I suppose. Yeah, I mean, I believe you can do a startup because a startup is based on the people and the inputs, and you can have like a bunch of knuckleheads together in an office and your inputs might be lower than having a guy who works really well alone, you know, by himself. Like our CTO, anytime he has to talk to people or to clients or whatever, it takes his focus away from product.
Yep.
And so maybe it's better for him to not come into the office every day anyways, you know?
So that's like a great example of a video that's a counter position. The types of roles that need to be in office and the types of roles that need to be remote. Mm-hmm. Everyone's talking about, should you be remote? Should you be in office? Yeah. You have now found a counter position by dividing and not saying either one. You're giving a counter position to both of them, saying, actually, we split it by role. That video would rip.
Cool.
I've never heard that video before. There's really strong emotional resonance around being in office, being remote, blah, 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 blah. Wait, what? Actually, it should be by role? Yeah. That's where your mind should be going whenever it's like thinking about counter positions.
You're really good at it, you know?
Sometimes.
How would you frame that? Like textbook wise versus also, what I used to do is I would record for like maybe 2 minutes or something, take like the best 30 seconds. And then what I thought was the hook, I'd make like the text hook and then cut it out of the video. And so I'm like already in the video kind of going. And then, so
I think it's an option.
Yeah.
I think there's so many different ways to do it. Like if I was making this exact video, we can do a workshop right now. The core concept is it's not remote. It's not in person. It's actually based by role. So the first thing I would do is I would open up a curiosity loop and I would be like, maybe some statistic that says like 2026, 72% of companies came back to office. And I think it's a terrible idea. But I also think staying out of office is a terrible idea. Let me explain. So now there's a curiosity loop.
Very
and
good.
there's extreme polarity between the two. But now I'm not going to tell them it should be by role yet. I'm not going to twist the knife and be like, here's the downsides of being in office. Boom, boom, boom. Here's the downsides of, and I might even just say like, I have a solution, just bear with me here. Like I'll get to it in a second, but there's also downsides to being remote. Boom, boom, boom. The reality is, and in 30 seconds, 40 seconds into the video, you should be dividing your org chart based off of red and blue. Red is in office. These are roles that excel in direct contact with each other. I'll get into those specific roles in a second. Here's another open loop.
Oh my God.
But the blue is actually the more deep workers who are a little autistic and they need to be alone and they're going to just really get some deep work done. The red one, these are going to be your sales team, your marketing team, your operations team. And now they're still waiting for the blue roles. The blue roles are your product team, whatever team, whatever team.
Yeah.
So I would just encourage you whenever you're thinking about your org chart, do this and do this.
Yeah.
Like mostly a founder-led content, so it's not going to go insanely viral, but that's going to be like potent content for a founder.
Right.
That's like an example of a counter position. And then you just spin that concept every other week. And now you're known as the hybrid office guy.
Yeah. Which is a great niche to be in.
Phenomenal niche to be in.
Especially because we're going to have a lot of people that want that lifestyle as founders.
100%. You want both. And then freaking the next thing I would do is I would start talking about tips to do that. If you want to have a hybrid office, having your deep workers remote and your sales team or whatever in person, you need to understand that the deep work people still need project management. The very first hire I would do is a project manager strictly for the remote people, but here are the 3 questions I'm going to ask them in the interview process to make sure that they're dialed.
So good.
Okay.
So, man, that's so good. What would you expect views like that to be on a video? Because
I mean,
to me, that would seem like lower TAM.
Yeah, 10,000 views on that would be like a
Banger.
Yeah. Right? Like even 5,000
You'd be
views
happy
on
with
that
3
would
to
be
5, basically.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Okay.
And then you just get better. Like we don't want to stay there.
Yeah.
We don't want to stay there. And then it's like,
and
okay,
then you
raise
can
the
add
team
like
a
little
bit.
tweaks into like, like format, green screen, kind of that sort of thing, or
Well, then you just spin the psychology away from the founder and now to the employee. More employees than founders. So we just opened up the TAM
hugely.
100 to 1.
Right.
Hey, if you're working in the office, if your company just made you come back into office and it's remote, and you used to be remote and you're absolutely pissed now, like maybe don't find a new company.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the role that you're in. Maybe you're actually a deep worker and you need to be in one of these roles. I would consider a career pivot.
Well, guys, thank you for watching. We've been in Omaha with Briar and his team. Briar, where can people find your stuff?
Briar Cochran on Instagram. DM me there. If you put Owen in the first word, whenever you DM me, I'll answer all questions for the first week that this drops.
Wow, that's crazy. That's incredible sauce. That's worth $1,500 an hour, by the way.
That is. Good luck.
All right, thank you.
Let's go, baby.
Great to meet you.